group put up signs begging gangs to stop shooting at each other from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. so kids aren't caught in the crossfire. Is that really the best we can do? Here to react is Project Hood founder and executive director, Pastor Corey Brooks. Pastor, thank you for joining us this morning. So these signs were put up by a group called Native Sons. Now, this is an advocacy group that was started after a 5-year-old was shot and killed last summer. And most of the murders that we know of children are between the hours that this flyer says. I know this group is well-intentioned. Is this the right way to handle what is clearly an epidemic in Chicago, Pastor?
Well, I want to applaud the advocacy group that is trying to stop violence. Anyone who's committed to trying to stop violence at any time needs to be applauded. The problem is that we're asking these immoral individuals to do something moral. And right. the sad commentary of it is that our city is lacking behind in trying to solve this issue. But it definitely calls for all people to have all hands on deck if we're going to solve the violence.
Why not just ask for police officers to police the neighborhoods with gang activity? Why not build police relations with the Black community? That makes more sense than telling gang members to, begging them to shoot between a 12-hour interval. Makes more sense. People are still going to die. Kids are still going to die. Senior citizens are still going to die.
It's in Chicago.
So I'm really interested because you come at this from such an interesting perspective. You're a very invested in the community person, but you're also a man of God. And so Tell me how much of this can be solved by, government and what you think they should do to help this. And then let's also talk about the other piece of the puzzle, which is the family.
Right.
And the lack of morality that you just talked about.
You're right. Sin is running rampant and unharnessed across America, specifically in the city of Chicago, where we're having violence at alarming rates. And I've just decided that I'm not going to wait on government to come in and save the day because it has not happened thus far. I believe anytime we continue to wait on government to come in and solve our problems, we're only setting ourselves up for failure. And so we have to take the bull by the horns and we have to do the work ourselves. We have to roll up our sleeves. And so we have to invest in families and try to get them to be together, 2-parent households. In our neighborhood, we're looking at 80% of the households are single-parent households. And a lot of these young men are growing up without fathers, without mentors. And it's very important that we come alongside families and assist them with male mentors. And of course, we have to do it across the spectrum. And that's the reason why we started an organization called Project Hood, helping others obtain destiny, because we see the problems, we see the issues, but we also believe we have some solutions as well.
So 80% of Black families in Chicago do not have a male as the head of that family. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, 80% of the households in our neighborhood, I'm in one of the neighborhoods on the south side of Chicago, they do not have a male in the household. And not only do they not have a male in the household, but they're lacking male mentorship in the...
Okay, that's understandable, but what about handling this violence problem? Okay, what are we going to do about that? All right, that's what needs to take place. All right, let's get into this story right here. All right, sorry about that. Right here. Here we are. Chicago lawmaker promotes petition asking gangs to stop shooting during daylight hours. An increase in shooting due to a supposed gang war in Chicago has led the community leaders to propose radical new solution to violent crime. A proposal called the People's Ordinance, community group Native Sons asked the city's gangsters to refrain from firing guns at one another between the daylight hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Like I said, 12 hours, okay? Do not shoot within that 12-hour period. People still gonna die. They need to ask for this Chicago lawmaker to be kicked out of office. We have to start somewhere. Co-founder of Native Sons Tatiana Atkins told CWB Chicago, "Our goal is to approach our city's gun violence problem strategically and not all at once. Things didn't become this way overnight, and change won't happen overnight. Change won't happen overnight, but if you put some, extreme effort into it, you could expect extreme results." Okay. That's what could happen. Start putting police officers in high crime areas. That's it. Where gangs are known to cause violence. And you will solve the problem. It won't go away overnight, but you will see a drastic change. The ordinance was promoted via email by Chicago Alderwoman Maria Hadden, who identifies herself as on her website as the first Black queer woman to serve on the Chicago City Council. A flyer on the ordinance instructs gangsters to protect the youth, no sliding while the sun is out. Featured on the flyer is our fence painted with the world, "Don't shoot, I want to grow up." This is stupid. This is just extremely stupid. Atkins said the purpose of the ordinance is to prevent glorifying criminal lifestyle. But you're telling criminals, don't shoot between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Okay. But you could shoot between the hours of 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. It's still glorifying it, still allowing them to do their dirt. Under this ordinance, we ask that the people stop associating with and glorifying shooters, stop glorifying switches, and stop wearing those ski masks everywhere, which perpetuates you as some op, Atkins said. When those who live a certain lifestyle try to hang with regular class citizens, they put everyone at risk. Okay, have those people locked up. Okay. City leadership has repeatedly failed to quell crime in Chicago. In August, Mayor Brandon Johnson downplayed the looting of the 7-Eleven store by 40 teenagers, saying, "We are talking about mob actions." He also likened such actions to silly decisions. Really? I really do think that this is planned. All these politicians in office and political leaders in Chicago, they're there to just let the city go to crap. That's it. You're there to let the city go to crap. You're there to not really do anything. Like Brandon Johnson, he's not really doing anything. And it's sad to say that this is what's going to happen. This is how it is. People with sense, Black people with sense, leave Chicago. Get out. Take your family and get out of Chicago. That's the only solution, because these lawmakers, they're not going to help you. They're going to come up with nonsensical solutions that don't help anybody. It just tells the killers, you can't shoot between a 12-hour interval. You can shoot after that, which puts people who work overnight at risk. Anything you want to know about this channel is in the description box. I'm also on Rumble, Radical Thoughts 791. Also on Spotify, Hard Talk Radio, live in 4K. All right, later. Like, share, comment, subscribe.